I apologize on that video I just did turning. I didn't show you. Wasn't used to the zoom, but this is a tubing cutter I use to cut the pipe. Like I said, it gives you a good square cut. All you'll have to do is just go in and chamfer the edge of it. You just knock that pressed in edge off. Then go in with your rasp, rough 60-80 grit sandpaper, roughen it up as rough as you can, around, up and down, because epoxy is not going to stick to PVC very well, but if you roughen it up, you just give that epoxy some tooth. I'll show you how I glue this one up real quick. 5-minute epoxy, A and B, equal amounts in a little cup. You can get these at Restaurant Supply, Walmart. You might have some restaurants where you get ketchup or something in them. I don't think they mind if you take a few extras. Just don't tell them I said that. Just mix it up good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get a little bit on your stick. Which pipe did I just rough up? Oops. That's brilliant. Smear epoxy on that one. Okay, just go into your hole. Smear some around in your hole of your pipe, and the end of your pipe. Then what I'll do is I'll scoop up what's left. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Then I'll take it, run it around, make sure you get it down in those grooves. Run it around. Again, it doesn't have to be a whole lot. Throw that in the trash, I don't need it. And just simply push it in. Kind of turn as you're pushing it in, that way you're getting the epoxy in. You can pull it out and push it in a couple of times. Force that glue in those gluing rings. Just push it in until it seats. Like I said, you're going to have some squeeze out. You use paper towel or whatever. I use my fingers. My wife makes some great pumice soap. Gets it all out. Then look in the end. I don't know if you can see. There's no epoxy that's going to be dripping down that hole that you're going to have to clean up. What I'll do is I'll just set it off to the side upside down so it rests on that. Keeps it pressed in there. I usually just put it between the rails of my lathe. Let it sit there. This is the 1/2 inch one I've got in here in a drill press now that I'm going to drill my tap holes in. Cross slide vise is what I use. Like I said, you can use a V-block. There's that line I was talking about, striking in your door jamb. I've got it centered. Where you drill your holes, I mean, it's not super critical. I get one about 1/4 inch from the leading edge, and then I'll come back about a 1/2 inch from that. Get everything locked down good and tight. And I'm drilling. I got my drill press is a 4-speed. I've got it set on the lowest speed, which is 480. So I'll come in and make a starter hole. The 1/2 inch I'm using 832 set screws. They're 3/16 inches long. You can find a drill and tap chart online for what size to get. If you're doing aluminum or plastic, it's a number 29 bit. It gives you 75% probability of thread, which is a good fit. Tighten it down. Just come into your hole. Clear chips as you go. Since you're threading it, you don't want those chips stuck in there, burnishing it out bigger. Okay, got that one done. Take my drill bit out. Go back to my center drill. Get it locked down. Then I'll like I said, since I've got a cross slide vise, I'll run it up. I'll make my second hole about a 1/2 inch back from the other one. Lock down my cross slide vise, turn it on. Center drill a starter hole. Come back with your drill bit. And I hand tap my holes, I don't machine tap them. You machine tap aluminum, if you don't got the right equipment, you're going to strip it out. Then my second hole, just drill it through. That's why I like bright finish drill bits on aluminum, because your chips and ribbons clear out a lot better. I'm going to readjust the camera. Yeah, maybe I won't have to. Just turn it, lock it down. Yeah, hang on a second, let me readjust here. Oops. Add a new camera and tripod, forgive me folks. Get everything locked down. Like I said, I hand tap. Makes it a little easier if you leave it in the vise, whatever you got. But I'm gonna hit the chuck. I'm gonna have to take it out and do it by hand. So get here to where you can see the camera. But if you start tapping into that PVC, get your tap going straight. This isn't a ratcheting tap handle, it's just a regular tap handle. Get it going straight. I hold it with my finger and thumb just to get it going. Once you get it going, go ahead and run your tap in. You may have to back it out, break some chips. I apologize if this is shaky and not in focus. I mean, tapping is pretty simple and straightforward. This is an 832 taper tap. You can use a plug tap, bottoming tap. And I just look down the hole, see if I'm coming through. Going through on that one. This 1/2 inch tool is drilled out with a 3/16 inch hole. On my next video, I'll show you some nice coving tools that I made. Make it out of drill shank, long drill shank. Blow that out. It's kind of wobbly at first, but it'll, once it gets a good enough bite, it'll straighten up. Just finish tapping your hole. Like I said, you may have to back it up 1 or 2 times to break your chips so you can keep going. Always look down the hole to make sure I'm getting all the way through. Which I'm all the way through there. The tap won't go any further. And blow this out with some air, folks. After I pick it up off the floor. Just blow your hose clean. Blow down the pipe. Got anything on the outside, just blow it out. Blow down your pipe. I still can't get it in the frame. There we go. Just blow out your holes. 832 by 3/16 inch set screws. Start them in by hand. Okay, get my second one here. You start them in there, then put your tool shaft in, tighten them down, you're ready to go. The great thing about this is your tool shaft. Let me grab my 3/16. And I'll show you how to make this little coving and detail tool. You don't have to buy a drill rod. I'll tell you how you can do this for a lot cheaper than drill rod. But got some burrs in there. The great thing about these handles is if you want to get in real close, you can move it in, tighten it down. If you need to get out a little bit further, of course you don't want to reach out way over your tool rest. You still want it on the tool rest, but if you need more room for your hands, slide it in and out. But that's it. 1/2 inch tool handle. Smaller tools, I use 1/4 inch and 3/16 in it. Your bigger pipe, 3/4 inch pipe, those are for your bigger tools, 3/8 inch. And the length of your pipe for your handle, you cut it however you want. I cut mine about 10-12 inches. If you want to cut it long and then cut it down to where it fits you, try your tool on the lathe. And then if you need to cut it down to make it more comfortable, cut it down in 1/2 inch or 1 inch increments with your tubing cutter. Just bring it on down. I prefer shorter handles myself because I like to get my bits up close. Because I've got problems with my hands and arms. And one thing I've been doing to my PVC handles is I've been putting a 1/2 inch slip cap on the end. It just dresses it up. If you want to, for counterbalance and shock absorption, you can get a round dowel rod, turn it down to where it will fit inside the pipe. You want it to be a fairly snug fit. Then take you another dowel rod, get some silicone, caulking silicone, squirt some out on a piece of wax paper or something, and put a mark on it, however deep you want that plug. Say if you wanted it to go 4 inches in, put a mark on your dowel rod, go in there, smear some of that silicone, get your plug and push it down in there to where it gets in that silicone, let it set, give you a good seal, let it set, and then you can take some sand and put some sand in here however much you want. You can use it for counterbalance, shock absorption, vibration absorption, whatever you want. Then you can come back with a 1/2 inch slip cap. You don't have to glue these on unless you want to, because this one I just pushed on and it's a tight fit. One thing I did is I did come in and put a bevel on that sharp front edge, just in case my hand slips back. That way it'll slide off pretty easy. But that's it. That's how I make my tool handles. Like I said, you get a tool handle for less than a couple of bucks. You can swap out bits. I've probably got 1.5 dozen tools up there. I just keep making tool handles. But I've got some different tools. I'll show y'all how to make out of the drill bits, show you how to grind drill bits. Another one that I've made, I don't really recommend the use of files unless you're going to keep it close to the tool rest. But I've taken an old file. Files are hard. They're hard steel. They're not tempered. That's why you don't want to go more than 3/4 of an inch past your tool rest, because they're not tempered. They don't have any spring and give. They will snap off. But I put a 35-degree bevel on that. Yeah, I've smoothed off all the cutting edges so it's not going to tear up my tool rest. Smoothed it up here. I mean, it's not pretty, it's functional. But that is shaving sharp. It's going to stay sharp for quite a while because it's hard steel. Sharpen it on a bench grinder. I'll show you how I do that in upcoming videos. But again, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. There's a lot of interest on the homemade wood turning tools, which I don't blame you guys. They're expensive. I can't afford $50, $75, $100 for a tool, or more than $100. So I'll show you how I make different ones, what their uses are and everything. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it.